So, right, guys, our fasting challenge is going to kick off on Monday. So, a wee bit of prep work. So, we're trying to get things up and running and started today. Not necessarily from a fasting point of view, but just making sure we have everything prepped for Monday morning. So, we're going to run this in two ways. We've got the advanced people and we've got the sort of beginners. Now, although we want to make the best out of this for the 10 days, please remember, if you've never done like intermittent fasting before, especially if you've never done one of the 5-day challenges, maybe tried it on and off, please start, although you do want maximum results, please start with the sort of the introductory phase. That's not called beginners, but the sort of introductory fasting phase. For the advanced people, we can kickstart straight away through. There's a reason for this, guys, right? It's not just the fact that, a hunger thing or whatever. It's called it's called being fat adaptive, right? Now, what fat adaptive means is you got to remember there's two fuel sources for the body. There's carbohydrates and there's fats. Normal people are all, I don't say normal, but people who just stick to a normal diet, these are what we call carb burners. You use carbohydrates for fuel predominantly, in fact, all the time. You'll probably find that sometimes up to 90% of your diet is just carbohydrates, right? So your body runs on carbs. So whenever we try to do fasting, remember what we're doing is we're starving the body of fuel, of carbohydrate fuel, so the body switches to using fat for fuel. Think of it as a hybrid, in the way a car can use petrol and it can use electricity. It switches between fuel sources whenever it needs to. That's called fuel efficiency or fat adaptive. It means that your body can use either fuel source quite efficiently. So it means when the carbohydrates aren't there, the body just switches to using fats pretty quick, and that means that you're fat adaptive. All right, anybody's done the fasting challenges before, you will be fat adaptive, all right, because your body knows, oh, carbohydrates aren't available, I can switch to using fat for fuel. Not just the fat on your body, but the fat that we eat, all right? But it means your body's using more fat more efficiently, which is what we want to do from the fasting challenge. Now, the issue is here, if you've never done this before, if you've never fasted before, the body's got quite a hard transition from going, I'm just using carbohydrates all the time. Oh, shit, there's none there. And it doesn't have the enzymatic sort of system to kick in to start breaking down fat for fuel efficiency before you start getting tired, headaches, grumpy, and all that kind of stuff. This is where sort of the hangry sort of feeling comes from. Your body just doesn't know how to use fat for fuel, and that's not good if you're ever looking to burn body fat, because we want our body to use fat for fuel, which is why we store it there. Remember, from an evolutionary point of view, we store fat because it's more efficient for storage. Reason being, carbohydrates have 4 calories per gram, fat has 9. So it's over double the calories. So from an evolutionary point of view, it made sense to store excess calories as fat, because if you were to store carbohydrates, you'd need double the area. All right, so you'd be even fatter, which you wouldn't, because it wouldn't be fat, it would be carbs. But anyway, you get my point. So this is why we store fat, because it's more efficient from an energy point of view. Now what we want to do is we want to tell the body, how do I tap into this fuel source? All right, how do I use it more efficiently? Now remember, please remember this, right? Again, for the people who've done this before and for the new people, your body is designed to do this, right? From an evolutionary point of view, we would never have had food multiple times a day, never mind every single day of the week. We would have went through long bursts of time where we were fasted, where we didn't have any carbohydrates coming in, and our body was very adapted of using fat for fuel. Now, along the way here, along the program, the 10 days or 12 days, I will be trying to teach you about this so you can understand it and how it works and the mechanisms of it. Because for me personally, and again, I know you guys have probably heard this a million times, who've been doing this regularly, for me, application is better if it's information. If I know why something's happening, if I understand what's happening in my body, it's easier for me to do it. So for example, if I'm fasting and I'm thinking, geez, I'm wild fucking hungry today, I couldn't be fucking arsed with this, fuck this here, this is fucking, just feed me. But if I understand what's happening from a mechanistic point of view, this is why I'm feeling this. This is what's now happening to my body. This is what's going to happen to me now in a couple of hours whenever my body starts to kick in this fat adaptation. I'm going to have more energy, more sustained energy. I'm going to have better sleep. I'm going to have more cognitive function. All these things that happen because of ketone productions. Then it's easier for me to keep pushing through those hard bits, if that makes sense, all right? So if you understand what's happening to your body from a biological point of view, systematic point of view, enzymatic point of view, and all that kind of stuff, it's easier for you to go, right, you know what? This is just a signal, a hunger signal. I'm not actually hungry, right? And I want you to remember, that's one of the key takeaways I want you to take from this. Again, for you who've been doing it for a while, and also for you new people, you are not hungry, right? And this is something that I have had to teach myself from fasting. And it really sort of helps me push through the hard bits, right? So I want you to think about this from a realistic point of view, because it's quite true, it's quite real. You have never felt hunger in your fucking life. There's people on the planet who starve. There's people on the planet who rubbish through bins just to try and get enough food to stay alive for them and their families. You have never experienced hunger. So for me, this is the way I look at it. It is a mortal fucking sin for me to turn around and say, oh, I'm starving, I'm hungry. I'm not. Right? I'm teaching my body how to use fat more efficiently. I'm deliberately exposing myself to an adaptogen, which is going to make me better and healthier and stronger, where there's people on the planet that have to do this every day. All right, so think about that whenever you're giving it this whole, I haven't had breakfast, it's 11 o'clock, and you think you're going to starve to death. Come on now, we've got to be a bit realistic about this and use our logic head and think, do you know what, hang on a minute, I am doing this to me, I'm putting myself through this challenge to be stronger, to be fitter, to be healthier, to look good and feel good, right? Over the next 12 days, I can go into Christmas feeling good, looking sharp, feeling like I've really deserved the indulgence that's coming through Christmas. And then on the 1st of January, I'm going to repeat this again so I feel really good. So I can train my body to bring in extra calories, store them if I need be, and then use them more efficiently when it comes to the next fasting challenge. Does that make sense? So that's how I want you to approach this. A systematic thing of, right, here's what I'm doing. Now, when we talk about fat adapted as well too, this is why most people's diets don't work, right? So specifically talking to women going into perimenopause and menopause, when your metabolic function sort of slows down and we become what's called insulin resistance. Again, we'll talk about this as we go through the 12 days. Insulin resistance just basically means your body's not even utilising carbohydrates properly. All right? So they ask your body to actually then utilise carbs and go into fat adaptation is really, really difficult. And this is why when you're trying an ordinary diet, you just can't stick to it because the insulin resistance is just not working. So intermittent fasting is the best, well, second best in conjunction. There's two things that you can do that are the best things for reversing insulin resistance. And again, don't overthink the terms, because I will break them down and explain them to you. But think about insulin resistance as your body just doesn't use fuel efficiently, right? If your body doesn't use fuel efficiently, it means that the excess calories, which is fuel, is just energy, has to store as fat. So if you think you're going on a diet, if you think I'm trying to reduce calories, but I seem like I'm getting fatter, what's going on? It doesn't make sense. It's insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is just saying that, see all that energy you're eating, let's not put it in the engine, let's just store it as fat, because the engine's not working very well. So even though you're putting your foot in the pedal, nothing's happening. This is why you feel tired, this is why you have aches and pains, this is why there's inflammation. Is why your sleeping's not working right. It's all insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is also one of the precursors for Alzheimer's and all the sort of brain sort of stuff that we don't want to think about. Alzheimer's and all that kind of stuff, they're terming it now type 3 diabetes because it's an insulin resistant issue. So again, this is one of the benefits again of intermittent fasting. We are reversing all this stuff. So again, don't just look at this as a weight loss protocol, which it is. It's a fantastic weight loss protocol, but it is absolutely amazing for your health and longevity. This is why I endorse this. I don't want anybody ever going on a diet. I want you to use small bursts of intermittent fasting to improve your health, to improve your cognitive function, to improve your well-being. And then in between that, we nourish the body, we feed the body with lots of protein, lots of essential fatty acids, lots of vitamins and minerals, so our body can get strong and resilient. So when we do the next fasting burst again, we burn body fat, we build muscle and resilience and strength and nutrition, because that's what your body needs, especially as we get older. I'm turning 50. I know if I try to diet for too long, if I try and go on a diet, reduce calories for say 4 weeks, my body suffers because my metabolism is just not what it used to be. I just don't have the same resilience repair-wise and mitochondria-wise. Mitochondria are the wee factors in your body that produces energy. Just not there. So for me to nourish my body, to feed my body, to build the muscle up as much as I can in between the fasting bouts is more essential for fat burning, because remember, it's the muscle tissue in your body that determines your metabolic rate. We lose muscle tissue as we age, therefore the metabolism slows down. So what do we do about that? Chronic dieting makes that worse. Intermittent fasting improves that and benefits that. So we get the benefits of the health benefits, longevity, muscle tone, metabolism, plus the quick bursts of fat burning. Does that make sense? But again, we'll go through this as we go along. So things that you're going to need to start off with: you get yourself a good whey protein. We always break our fast with a protein shake half an hour before our first meal. not a beef protein. I know the beef protein is very popular in it because it's sort of like it's like a juice, and for some people it's easier to drink. It's not going to have the same sort of satiety effects. Satiety just means it's going to make you feel full up for longer. Because one of the downsides of doing a long fast is whenever you do start eating, sometimes it's like a trigger. You just can't fucking stop. And even if you've only got 4 hours or 2 hours to eat, you just seem to overload calories because you just go into that gorge mentality, which again is another evolutionary trait that keeps us alive. But anyway, so if we have a protein shake half an hour before that, it lines the stomach, makes you feel full up. So when we start eating, there's less chance of you overeating, and it also makes sure that we get enough protein in our eating window, because that 2 scoops of protein is going to give you 50 grams of protein straight away, which is half of your daily requirements hit straight away, so we don't get that muscle loss that can come with intermittent fasting. We need to get ourselves some Himalayan salt or a good hydration salt formula. If anybody lives locally, I think McGinley's is still doing the Naughty Boy hydration drink. Perfect, first thing in the morning. A scoop of that, shake it up. It'll not break your fast. It's nice, it tastes good, it's refreshing. Maybe have 1 or 2 of them during the day. Or the old sort of apple cider vinegar, squeeze a lemon, couple of grains of Himalayan salt or Celtic salt, knock that down. I still think that's the best because apple cider vinegar helps to mobilize fat for fuel. Again, we'll get into all this as we go along. All right, now listen, when we're eating, in our eating window, remember, I'm trying to give you the tools to maximize this for 12 days. I mean, we're putting the pedal to the metal. We are going aggressive fat burning here, right? Super hardcore aggressive fat burning. I do expect you in the next 12 days to burn up to some of these. Remember, it does depend on how much body fat you've already got and how adaptive you are to fasting. Have you been doing it regularly? But if you haven't done this in a while or you're new to this, I do expect anything from half a stone to a stone in the 12 days. I'm going to break down exactly why that happens, how it happens, how to break your fast, how to keep this up, how to keep the results that you get, how to keep your intermittent fasting going. But that's what I expect. So we want to go hardcore aggressive for this. So when we eat, we want to eat as little or zero processed foods. That means my rule of thumb is if you can't kill it or pick it, you don't eat it, right? And we want to reduce carbohydrates as much as possible. Remember, carbohydrates is sugar. We want to stop eating sugar. We want to start using fat for fuel. So we want to eat as much protein as possible and vegetables and fruit, Greek yogurt, blueberries, even a wee bit of honey. I know that's sugar, but it's natural and it's very good for, again, enzymatic production and breaking down fat for fuel. I know I'm throwing a while out at you here, folks, right? I'm talking pretty quick, but I'm trying to get in as much information as possible. But just know I will be drip feeding you this information through the 12 days so you understand it more. What's autophagy? How's it helping you sort of anti-cancer cells and all this kind of stuff that's going to go through, right? And again, please, if you have any questions, please ask as many questions in this group as possible. All right, so one more thing. I want you to post up your starting weight. I don't care what it is, guys. Put it up in pounds. Listen, I know for the new people, oh, no, put me weight up, but everybody puts their fucking weight up. We don't care what weight you are. We don't give a shit. Nobody looks at your number. Nobody cares what number you are. What we want to see is what we get at the end, right? Nobody cares. Nobody cares what weight you are, right? I know this way. Oh, I'm 100 and whatever pounds, and I don't want people thinking I'm fat. We're all on this because we're fucking fat. It's a fat loss challenge, right? Come on, grow up, put on your big girl pants, and let's enjoy this, and let's really maximize this, right? So put on your starting weight in pounds on, what day is it? Is that tomorrow morning? All right, so it's Sunday morning. Put up your starting weight in pounds. Just put up your weight. 100 and whatever pounds, 200 pounds, it doesn't really matter. Again, the number's arbitrary. If you put it in pounds, nobody knows what that fucking is anyway. Like, I mean, if I said it was 140 pounds, it's 10 stone, but nobody knows that, so stick up your number in pounds, right? Stick it up, and then we're going to put up the end, what you are and what you lost, so we can see how we're getting on. Because look, trust me, it really motivates other people when you do it. We're in this is a group endeavor. This is why we do this as a group. This is why it's not a 1-to-1 challenge. It's a group challenge because we work better as a group. We're all in the same boat, right? All you ladies are in the same boat. Most of the ladies on here are going through perimenopause and menopause, or have weight loss issues, or they struggle for weight for years. That's why we're all here, right? We're all doing the same collective journey. So embrace it and help each other out. Ask questions. You'll probably find my days extremely busy. I start in the gym at 4:30 in the morning. I don't get home to 8 o'clock at night sometimes. So you're asking questions. I might even see the questions. There's so many people in this group now who have been doing this for ages. They will answer the question for you probably even better than I fucking can now. They've been doing it that well. They're that good at it. Alright, so look out for the videos. Ask as many questions as possible. Anything you need, throw it up. Get yourself a good whey protein, a good hydration formula. Again, if you're not sure what they are, ask. Surely I'll be the first one to answer your questions, and so will everybody else. Get on and let's really maximize this. Alright. One more thing. If we want to maximize this, if we want to really put the pedal to the metal, we want to start to do a bit more movement. I would recommend a 30-minute walk as soon as you wake up. Even if you have to get out of bed 30 minutes earlier, stick on the headphones, put on your phone, put on 15 minutes, walk for 15 minutes. When the buzzer goes off, turn and come home, right? We want to really maximize our fat burning. Remember, that's aerobic activity. Aerobic activity burns fat for fuel. We're trying to turn our body into fat burning machines. So let's switch that on. Resistance training. Lifting weights, guys, preserves muscle tissue, builds muscle tissue, speeds up your metabolism, burns a massive amount of calories. Right? If you've never been to the gym before, if you want, between even December and January, give me a shout, come in, I'll take you for free December and January. I'll coach you for free in the gym to show you what you should be doing, how you should be training for longevity, for stability, for mobility, for building strength and resilience and all that kind of stuff. Right? So let me know if you want to come into the gym and do that. I want you to get the best of this. I want you to, on Christmas and in New Year, looking and feeling your absolute fucking best, but not just that. Going forward into next year with a mindset of, do you know what? I am going to fucking kill next year. I'm going to look good. I'm going to feel great. I don't care that I'm 60 or 70 or 55 or whatever. I'm at a point in my life now where I can take control. I can take action. For most of you, the kids have grown up and they've left the house. You've no reason to hold you back. Yes, some of you have grandkids to look after. This is your time, right? You've done all your due diligence as a parent. You've done all that there. Now it's time for you. Let's put the foot down. Let's look good. Let's feel great. Let's live long. Let's live strong. Any questions? Let me know.